Tonight it is all about finding an alternative to the Springbank 10-year-old 46% ABV, natural color, non-chill filtered. And you know what? It's a little bit like finding a needle in a haystack or finding Nemo in an ocean of water. And I was quite looking forward. And the reason, and the big reason for this video, a lot of my subscribers and friends and colleagues have reached out to me and telling me, you know what, this whiskey thing is getting expensive, and I have to agree, it's quite expensive, especially some of this nice Springbanks. If you look at what I'm paying here in Belgium and what you're paying maybe in the UK, quite a big difference, and I think I'm being robbed. And when some of my subscribers turn around and give me their prices, what they are paying, the US people, my word, it is just absolutely daylight robbery in my opinion. So it's always good to find an alternative for that whiskey. We're going to start off, of course, with the 10-year-old. You've seen in the thumbnail a little bit of a teaser. What is he talking about? What is the whiskies that going to be the alternative? Now, it is a lovely whiskey, make no mistake. And I think the big takeaway for me of making this video, if you go back to all 3 video reviews that I done on these 3 videos of these 3 whiskies, you'll find that I'm quite happy with all 3 of them. And on an individual review, I think they all are fantastic. But once you put them side by side, for me that becomes apparent that they are not all that fantastic. There is a big difference between them, and I expect that. So we start off with the Springbank, just to give a little bit of a, a background on the nosing and tasting on the Springbank. If I look at the prices, we're looking at, I paid 86 euros for this in Belgium. Taxes and duties are quite expensive. Parts per million on the phenols, 50 to 55, so quite high. Compare if you look at maybe the Laphroaig, the 10-year-old Laphroaig. That's this Springbank, 55 parts per million, between 50 and 55. And this one, I'm not going to talk about this one. I didn't want to add it to this line up. It's a little bit too rough for me to make the cut. So sorry about that, Laphroaig. But I love it. Go look at the review. It's a fantastic whiskey. But this one, unfortunately didn't make the cut for me. Normally would pour it a little bit ahead of time. This time the bottle is half already. So there's enough oxidization that has taken place. Ex-bourbon, ex-sherry cask. Price-wise, I think it is, you can get it for about 70, between 70 and maybe 75 euros. I see in the UK you're going to pay about 55 euros for a bottle. Shame on you bastards. Why do we always have to pay them more money? Well, sorry for you people in the US. And of course the people from Australia, they also do pay a hell of a lot of money for the whiskey. So that sherry is definitely shining through. There's lovely aromas. I do feel sometimes that I need to wake it up. If it's in a glass for maybe 3, 4, 5 minutes, when I go back, I feel like, where is it? What happened to it? Give it a little bit of a stir, wake it up, and you get that lovely light sweetness. It's friendly. That definitely, that smoke it's not much, especially with time in the bottle. There's a lot of oxidization that took place. So it is not that super peated whiskey, even at the suggested 50 to 55 parts per million on the phenols. So definitely on the nose-wise, quite an interesting one. Now, I'm not going to drink it now. I will compare the taste between the three of them. The next bottle that I will definitely put on as one of the ones, or one as the peated whiskies that I've been raving about most of the time. Well, there is a little bit of a caveat with these ones. Sometimes, like I said, I take a bottle, I rant about it and rave about it, and wow, this is all the raves. And sometimes that moment is just the perfect whiskey, or the perfect peated whiskey that you're going to find. And Lejeq, 10 years old, Tobermory Distillery, 46.3% ABV, natural color, non-chill filtered. It is, I call it rich peat, smoke and spice. And of course, it is just ex-bourbon cask, so there's no sherry influence in this one. So I'm just going to pour myself a wee dram of that. Bottle is almost a finish, so no need for, well, to spend a lot of time in the glass before you drink it, as the Springbank 10 years old. Now, on the nose itself, the peat is there, the sweetness, it's nice, low sweetness. There's a little lemony note, a lemon rind note. There's a little citrus note that comes out. That peat is a little bonfire or a fire in the distance. So again, a lovely, light, friendly peat note that I do like. Definitely something. There's a little gooseberry note that also appearing. And ex-bourbon, there's a little bit of an appley note. And I get a little bit of a pear note. And it is just a little summer in a glass type of whiskey for me. Taste-wise, cheers. It is a lovely whiskey. It's there's a sweetness is there, that peat is there, that little lemony note is there, the little appley, orchard, vanilla, all of those lovely light summer fruity notes that comes out on this one. And I must admit, it is quite lovely, but I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. Let's have a look at the last category, and now I've lost my bottle. Here it is. This one for me is one of the whiskies that I bought many, many years ago. I think it is maybe maybe not so many years ago. It was just after the channel started, maybe 4.5 years ago. I first bought this one, had no idea what it is, was not big into the peated whiskey scene. And I thought to myself, give this one a go. It looked fantastic. It's got the right name, Curiositas. And of course, we're talking about the BenRiach 10 years old Curiositas, 46% ABV. So yeah, that is a peated version of BenRiach. And I must admit, BenRiach does make some good whiskies. So a quick pour. Now this one, I had a little bit of a cork incident, broke off, so I had to replace it. Maybe not too tight, maybe a little bit too loose. I'm going to have to find a new cork for this one. Don't want any evaporation taking place. But on the nose, cheers. Oh, it is, wow. Now, I know when I first opened this bottle, it was way more peatier than this one. It was a little bit punchier. Ex-bourbon, virgin oak, and they also have some rum cask in this one. Now, nose-wise, it's not going to jump out and say rum cask, I smell rum. No. Definitely not that. But it brings a little bit of an extra to it, a little bit of a complexity, in my humble opinion. A little bit of a complex sweetness. Oh, that is really lovely. That rum, I think, just bring in something nicer to me. Something a little bit of a surprise. Wow. Taste-wise, cheers. Ooh. It's sweet. And it's a little bit sweeter than the nose suggested. That rum is definitely playing a perfect role for me in this one. That little vanilla note, that little rum note, a sweetness. It even feels like there could be a hint or two of sherry in it. Definitely not that. I think that extra cask, the virgin oak cask, brought a little bit more of the sweetness, a little bit more buttery note, a little bit more of the vanillas out of it. Definitely a nice one. Now, comparison. Which one would you pick? Springbank 10? Nose-wise, I have to wake it up a little bit. Nose-wise, it is lovely. Now, when I asked my son which one he prefers, nose-wise, he went straight to this one on my right, and of course that is the Benriach Curiositas, and we both agree, nose-wise, the Curiositas is just fantastic for me. Springbank second, but you have to wake it up. If you don't wake it up, I get a little bit of a soapiness, a soap type of nose. Of course, the Ledaig. Oh, it is lovely. That smoke is just completely different between the other two. It's a little bit more bonfire in the distant type of smoke. But it is lovely. It is really a lovely whiskey. Very difficult to pick one. And like I said, if you put the whiskey side by side, it makes a big difference. On its own, rave, put them together. Well, now it's not so easy. And of course, in your mind, your palate, and your nose, you have to pick something, and you probably would find something that you like more than the other. Now, for me, not trying to make this a long video, how do I pick? Taste-wise, the Springbank, it is a lovely whiskey. For me, it is the sweetness is friendly, the peat is friendly. It's a well-balanced whiskey. It's a whiskey that, well, on its own, and you give it to me on a Friday evening, and I will be happy with that. If I look at the Curiositas, the Benriach 10 years old, equally fantastic. Lovely sweetness, elevated sweetness, and when you get to that taste, a little less of the tannins, a little less bitter note that comes out. It just feels a little bit more rounder. There is a little bit more spiciness to it, but it is a lovely whiskey. From nose to taste, definitely a clear winner for me. Second on the list, the Springbank, and then of course the Ledaig. Now, very weird, the Ledaig, I've been raving about it for such a long time. So yeah, it does also show your palate change. You experience whiskey different every time that you try it. It can be the ambience, it can be the friends with you, it can be the, well, the sun is still shining, it's 9 o'clock or 9:15 in Belgium. Now, I'm from South Africa, it's bedtime, long time ago. The sun should be down in 7 o'clock, not 10:30 in the evening, so sun's still out there. So, yeah, to make a pick it, Gert. Stop talking. And definitely, for me, the Curiositas is the #1 whiskey. So that is just my opinion. Don't jump on the keyboard and telling me I'm talking nonsense. It's just my opinion. We don't all drink the same. We don't all like the same whiskey. But I would love to hear, what is the type of whiskey that you drink? When you pick these 3 whiskies, which one would be your favorite? So thank you very much for watching. Please remember to like, share and subscribe. I see you next time. Cheers.